This is the Roland AT-10S, and that is the built-in demo of the big band. You'll notice it has two 49-note keyboards. That's 4 octaves on each keyboard. That's a super spinet organ. A standard spinet organ starts on F and runs up to C. This goes down to the lower C. 5 extra keys on each keyboard for a total of 98 keys. Has 1 octave of pedals. I'm going to turn it off and turn it on. This is the factory default sound you get when you turn it on. It gives you an organ tone in the lower. It gives you an organ tone in the upper and pedals. And if you play traditional, it sounds something like this. Theater organ sound. This is the theater organ number 3. Very pretty sound. Like many other Roland Ateliers, it splits at the display at the screen in the middle. To the left side of the screen are sounds and functions for the left hand and for your pedals. To the right side of the screen are sounds for your upper manual, and those sounds are organ section here and the orchestra section here. The Atelier AT-10S has a whole bunch of nice sounds. Here's a piano for you. Here's a saxophone. Has a button called Others, and hidden in the Others are all the other sounds that are not allocated with a button. When I first turn on Others, I get the jazz scatters. That's people singing. Sounds like this. Kind of like a Manhattan transfer sound. I'm going to turn that up a little bit. I'm also going to go in here and turn on the touch. So if I hit the key soft, I'll get that sound. And if I hit it louder, I'll get a different. The touch sensitivity gives the voices more realism. If I go back to the piano sound with the touch on. Same thing with the touch off. It's just not as clean. Sounds much better with the touch on. Of course, you have to develop a sense of touch in your hands to really appreciate that. You can layer one sound from the orchestral section with one sound from the organ section, so I'll pick the theater organ sound in this case. I'm going to layer it with some strings and just turn the strings down a little bit. I'm also going to go in and add some sustain. And just come over here and add a little sustain. To the left side over here we have our rhythm section. Each one of these buttons is not an individual rhythm, but an assortment of rhythms. So I'll hit Latin. On the screen it says Bossa Nova. If I push the little value next to it, it says Samba, it says Salsa, it says Rumba. So I get a collection of Latin beats here. When I have one I like, I can just push the button and lock it in. If I use the one-touch program function, it will set all the sounds that go with that rhythm, so I'll do that. It's going to give me an orchestrated accompaniment. I will play an F chord, and we'll get this nice, beautiful rumba background. It shows a piano in my right hand. It turned no sound on in my left hand. I'm going to go in and add some strings to the left hand. Endings, introductions, endings, no hands. Makes a beginner sound like a professional. We have tons of different rhythms in here that are neat. Here's a nice old country beat. This is just real pretty. Country, and there's many other rhythms in here. This has about, I don't know how many rhythms, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, maybe around 40 rhythms or so, and then there have variations on each rhythm, so it has a nice variety of music. Now as far as portability, Bill, since you asked about portability, I'm going to take the camera off and show you how this is made. Just going to step back here, lift the camera out. You'll notice that the top of the organ is here and the bottom is here. They're connected by 4 screws. We're going to bend down and show you them. These 4 screws are up in here. If you look right here, there's a little Phillips screw. 4 screws turning it counterclockwise. And you can lift the top part of the organ here right off the bottom. And it probably weighs, I don't know how much the top weighs. The whole unit weighs about 100 pounds. So the top without the base might weigh only, say, 60 or 65 pounds. And then you could take it, you can move it in 2 pieces if you wanted to move it, or you could even buy a more of a heavy-duty keyboard stand and just put the top on top of the keyboard stand. And if you wanted, you could make a new thing to take the pedals with you. It comes with a beautiful padded bench. And that's just a quick take of the AT-10S.